Podcast number 7, General Education Teacher Role in the Special Education Process.
What is a general education teacher's role?
So their role is to make sure that they're present for the ETR and the IEP meeting. They should be collaborating on the ETR and the IEP. They should be communicating with their intervention specialist or the SPED aide at their location or, for their classroom. They should know which students in their class has an IEP. Mm-hmm. They should also know which students have a 504 plan, and they should know the difference between the two as well. They should be working with the student and putting in place the accommodations and modifications that they see on the Section 7 or on the IEP at a glances. And they should be also tracking progress through observation and assessments. It's not just the intervention specialist who does the, assessment, tracking the progress. They should be as well. They should be making sure they have that information. So when it's asked for them to fill out these forms, which we have put both our ETR form and our IEP form on a Google Doc, so it gets sent to them via email at their convenience. Mm-hmm. To fill out, even though there is a deadline that we do need them to fill it out by, we won't have to interrupt their class time. They put that information in. We also know we have attendance issues with some of our students, so we ask them just put that in there for us as well. But they should be monitoring the progress of their students. If you see a student struggling with their math work, with the credit recovery, or with testing, that's a progress monitoring thing that you should include on either the ETR IEP form when it's sent for this. And communicating with their intervention specialist. If they're seeing a student struggling really bad, then they need to let the intervention specialist know so we can, call a parent meeting, or maybe we need to provide different accommodations than are already being provided.
Why is it important?
The general education teacher, or sometimes we'll call them classroom teachers, they're in the classroom seeing the student day to day. Mm-hmm. Every hour of that day, every minute of that day. Yes. They're going to have a better knowledge of what that student's ability and struggles are, based more so than just being based off of assessments. Any student assessment can trigger some students, so they may perform poorly on it, but they're doing fine in the classroom. That information is vital just as much as the assessment scores are, and the general education teacher sees that more on a day-to-day, minute-by-minute basis mm-hmm. than the intervention specialist or the SPED para aide.
Okay. What if a mistake is made?
Mistakes happen, mm-hmm. and we get that. The Ohio Department of Education gets that. You just need to make a good faith effort. It's not ignoring the emails or not providing the information. Making that conscious effort to make sure that the communication is there, that you are providing what you're seeing. Mm-hmm. The parent wants to know what you're seeing as well. So we really do have to work as a team when collecting this information. We get it. No one's perfect. I've made mistakes, so just communicate. If you've made a mistake, don't think that it's going to be doom and gloom. Come forward. We could probably correct that mistake before it turns into something bigger.
Yes.
There's these questions that I like to give teachers so that they can make sure that they're putting a good faith effort. Is who in your classroom has an IEP or a 504 plan? What accommodations or modifications does that student need? You don't need to memorize that, but know where you can go and look right away for it. If someone asked, would I have proof that I'm implementing the IEPs of my students? Make sure that you're showing those accommodations and modifications. If you have a 20 question worksheet, and the student gets 25% reduction, did you remove 5 of the questions, cross them off, or, make sure that the grade's not including those 5 questions. You're only scoring them off of the 15. And also know who the case manager is. And that case manager is going to be one of two peoples. It might be just the intervention specialist, depending on the location in the building, or it might be the intervention specialist and the SPED aide. Mm-hmm. You want to know who both those people are. And if you don't follow the IEP and put in a good faith effort, then we are at risk of personal liability, and it could include monetary damages. But I think everyone has their students' best interests at heart, and as long as you're putting the effort in, we're going to have all those bases covered.